Good morning, Salam Alaikum. Welcome to Baina News Store right here on Baina TV. My name is Joy Preston, bringing you the latest headlines across Ghana and the world. Our headlines: government secures 4,500 acres of land to build affordable houses. I won't tolerate acts of disloyalty or subversion, says President Nana Akufo-Addo to ministers, to deputy ministers. We will announce a new date for our demonstrations, according to #FixTheCountry conveyors. 2021 census enumerators demand health and risk allowances ahead of exercises. Floods hamper economic and business activities in Kumasi. These and many interesting topics will be coming your way. Okay, let's move on to our first headline. Government secures 4,500 acres of land for affordable housing. The Works and Housing Minister, Francis Asenso-Boakye, has announced that the government has secured 4,500 acres of land to build more affordable houses to reduce the country's housing deficit. According to him, under the National Affordable Housing Program, 4,500 acres land has been earmarked at Amasama, at Afenya, all in the Greater Accra region and the Ashanti region. In a press conference, he noted that he revealed that 60% of Ghana's population needs some form of government assistance to support them access housing, with the country's housing deficit estimated in excess of 2 million housing units, hence the need for government intervention. He explained that the housing is key for development of any economy, as it provides security to families, and as such the government will make life easier for many. Fantastic move there by the Works and Housing Minister, Francis Boakye. He announces that the government has secured 4,500 acres of land for affordable housing. It's such a great move for a time such as this, where you have issues with lands, etc. People are literally struggling, not just to pay rent. I mean, you have a lot of young people that are now leaving university, starting life afresh, and they need houses to stay in. So I think with a move like this, it would definitely make it a lot easier, instead of being a dependent, to start out being a bit more independent. Awesome move there. Okay. Our President Akufo-Addo has said that he will not tolerate acts of disloyalty or subversion from deputy ministers. He said he will not hesitate to sack any deputy minister of state who undermines the substantive minister. He added that it takes unity and loyalty to help in the growth and development of the ministry, and by extension the country. Speaking at the swearing-in of the 39 deputy ministers at the Jubilee House, President Akufo-Addo said the focus should be to build a better Ghana. I think this is also very, very good coming from our president. He said he will not tolerate any form of disloyalty from the deputy ministers. He's calling for every single one of them to focus on nation building. And yeah, so he was also speaking during, okay. All right, let's move on to our next story. Operation Fix the Country conveners, they said, we will announce a new date for our demonstration, #FixTheCountry. Okay, so they are saying that they said that they will soon come up with a new date for their protest. This follows the decision of the Accra High Court to dismiss an application from the police restraining the group from embarking on the demonstration as far as COVID-19 restrictions are enforced in accordance with the law. The court, presided by Justice Ruby Ayete on Friday last week, ruled that the application was moot since the date of the protest, May 9th, was belated. However, the conveyor said they will find a new date for their demonstration. Okay, so one of their conveners said or indicated in an interview that the protest will soon be organized in accordance with the law. So, hashtag fix the country conveners are not slowing down in any way. They are saying that there will be a new date for their demo. They have been recently slowed down because of COVID-19 restrictions. So new dates will be announced soon according to them. Let's move on. The 2021 census enumerators demand health risk allowances ahead of exercises. With less than 24 hours to the start of the 2021 population and housing census, the National Coalition of Field Officers is demanding health and risk allowances and an increase in their remuneration from the Ghana Statistical Services. Okay. The coalition, which includes enumerators and supervisors, wants their remuneration increased from an expected 2,520 cedis and 2,950 cedis to 3,500 cedis and 4,000 cedis respectively. According to the group, their safety and health have been put at risk in their line of duty. Okay, so they are demanding higher remuneration there, saying that their health and safety are important for the services they are rendering to the nation. I think that is fair, from their side. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's talk about the recent flood that occurred on Saturday. Now, the floods hamper economic businesses' activities at Kejetia Market in Kumasi. More than 300 stores in the Kejetia Market in Kumasi have been flooded in the latest rainstorm to hit the country recently. The state-of-the-art commercial hub, which was inaugurated in 2018, is one of the worst affected areas following 2 days of intensive rainfalls. The National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, estimates that at least 3 people, including a 1-year-old boy, have lost their lives in the incident. Okay, so rainfalls there has claimed at least 3 lives in the Kumasi region and has disrupted businesses tremendously. Still on Kumasi, hundreds have also been displaced in the flooding and 6 hospitalized. We are told that more than 200 residents of the Kumasi metropolis have been displaced after 2 days of heavy rainfalls. The rainfalls also resulted in 6 people being hospitalized after they were trapped under collapsing structures. Kumasi is Ghana's second largest city. Is witnessing one of its worst moments as the authorities and residents have been caught hands down without any clue to finding a remedy to the latest flooding. So for most of you who are aware, the rains that just occurred on Saturday continued on Sunday in Kumasi. I know that in Accra, a lot of houses, a lot of families experienced flooding in their houses, but recently no news of any lives being lost so far. However, in Kumasi, it's a totally different ballgame as authorities there were not prepared for this disaster to hit. And we are told that a lot of people, even more than 200 residents, have been displaced after these 2 days of heavy rainfalls. We hope that there will be speedy solutions from the authorities soon. All right. EPA shuts down cement factory at Makati Hills. We are told that the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, with support from the police on Friday, closed down the Empire Cement Factory. This was a Chinese cement factory at Makati Hills in Accra. And so far it's operating without permits. So EPA shut down the cement factory because it has been operating without a permit. We are told that the police halted operations at the site and sacked all workers in the factories, including the Chinese nationals, for flouting the laws of the country. And also information gathered by the information reveals that that EPA is to manufacture. All right. So we are told that the factory is recently closed until further notice. All right. So let's move on to other news. $170 million GPCGC judgment debt avoidable, according to IES boss. Executive Director of the Institute of Energy, Nana Amoase VII, has noted that Ghana could have avoided the $170 million judgment debt that it's going to pay to the Ghana Power Generation Company. He said, while speaking on key points on a particular platform, he stated that the reasons given for the termination of the contract were flimsy. According to him, this could have been avoided. For his part, as a private legal practitioner, Mr. Bob Libansu called for prosecution of government officials whose decisions resulted in the country having to pay unwarranted judgment debts onto people prosecuted and jailed. He said the menace of the judgment debt payments will continue to hit the country. In a quote, he said, if you put people into jail, it will keep people in check. We may not get the money back, but if you put people into jail, all right. We may not get the money back, but if you put people into jail, okay. Adding, he said, we have to put person A or person B before a court of competence jurisdiction. Okay. All right, jail them if they are found guilty. This will put people in check, he stressed. Okay, so that is his opinion there, saying that the judgment debt amount of $170 million, which is to be paid to Ghana Power Generation Company, could have been avoided, according to the Executive Director of the Institute for Energy Security, Nana Amoase VII. Okay, let's move on to other news. Okay, now Mr. Abujinapo has said that we cannot hastily eradicate Galamsey. He's the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. He said has shut down high hopes of totally eradicating Galamsey menace with the shortest possible time. The Damango MP argued that the ongoing fight against illegal mining is a process and not an event, as to result will make time to manifest. All right, so he said that it's a process and not an event. So he's more or less saying that it's not a quick fix thing. It's a process. We need time to literally stop Galamsey totally. Answering questions at a Public Accounts Committee hearing on the 2017 Auditor General's report of MDAs, the minister, however, argued the current fight has recorded notable results. In a quote, he said, "We have not eradicated illegal small-scale mining. In fact, I am not sure that we can eradicate illegal small-scale mining. The efforts we are making is not an event, it is a process. We cannot eradicate or get to a satisfactory situation in respect of illegal small-scale mining overnight." I think I totally agree with Mr. Abujinapo there, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Eradicating Galamsey is a process, it's not an event that we should all expect quick solutions to. I believe a lot has been done so far and a lot is still being done, and according to him, we should allow the due process to take its place to totally ensure that the activities of illegal miners are minimized, maybe not totally eradicated, but we will see how far that goes. Okay, so let's move on to the next headline. Speed and energy used to shut down Radio Gold is very disturbing, says Mr. Sefakai. Okay, now we know that he's the host of Peace FM. He's pleading with the government to restore the operational license of Radio Gold following its shutdown by the National Communications Authority, NCA. Radio Gold was shut down 3 years ago for allegedly operating without valid authorization. According to the National Communications Authority, the station is no more in operation because it failed to comply with the ruling of the Electronic Communications Tribunal. Meanwhile, there are political undertones intending that the closure of the station is because it is okay. All right, let's end it there. He's just simply saying that, the NCA should reconsider its stance for the shutting down of Radio Gold. But if it is operating without license, I think NCA followed due process to have it shut down. I mean, the only thing you can do is to get the license you need to operate. That's it. Okay, let's talk a bit about international news now. So Chinese lending decline leaves huge infrastructural gap. After nearly 2 decades of bilateral lending, researchers have seen a drastic decline in lending from China's policy banks. The impact of this retrenchment will be felt all over the world, especially in Africa, where the need for infrastructure is highest and ability to fund lowest. According to research from the China-Africa Research Initiative, this decline in China lending to Africa has been stark. For example, in 2016, Chinese lending to the public sector in Africa was $28 billion. This declined to $9.9 billion in 2018 and declined again to $7 billion in 2019. Notable that over these 2 decades, China has emerged as the continent's largest bilateral lender. Now, let's look at some of the causes why there has been a steady decline in China's lending to Africa. We're told that this could be due to several factors that may not be so clear, including, we're told that this could also include the Chinese economy, the uncertainty in the Chinese trade war with the US, and the Chinese investment losses in Venezuela and elsewhere. Don't forget that the effect of COVID-19 has had a serious havoc all across the world, and this also obviously includes China. So it has made huge losses in other places across the world. And what does IMF say about this? IMF is saying that Africa will be the world's slowest growing region in 2021, since Africa's government financed 40% of their own infrastructure, and any reduction in revenues will translate into reduced capacity to fund infrastructure. So maybe African countries should begin to look at ways of funding their own projects without much foreign direct investment. However, could we really do without it is still a question, but we are working towards it. Perhaps it should soon be more of Africa-China policy rather than China-Africa policy in terms of investment. We'll be looking more into that. Okay, so this is all we've got for you today right here on Baina News Store, on Baina TV. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. A big shout out to my producer, Ahmed Sahid, and to all Baina News staff. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Have a great week.